Okay. I think we are live. So I'm good God, what's up, wild ones? Let's do something proper, like geez Louise. Ah, it's been for this is not okay. It's been forever. Yeah, that was me in the background. It's been forever since I have been live. Good gracious. I think the last time I went live was over on Instagram. So I'm trying something new. I like the platform of YouTube because I feel like you guys can actually, it's a whole lot easier for you to watch this on replay if you don't happen to make it live. If you are live, then say what's up because I have absolutely no idea who is here live and who, like, obviously, who's not, because that would make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, if you are here live, pop something into the chat and say what's up. So I like YouTube because I think you guys are going to be able to drop in with these, whether you're watching live or whether you are watching this on replay. And I want you to really be able to dive into these teachings, into these transmissions in a way that is really accessible for you. So I feel like I'm going to be going live over here on the tube. Quite often. We'll see how that goes. Right now, I am going live through Zoom, so there is a lag, like 10 seconds or so, which I mean happens with live anyway. So that's my spiel of, this is why I'm over here on YouTube versus Instagram. I know we generally hang out over on the gram, but I feel like for video this is a much like more flow and aligned space for my body and soul and the medicine that I want to share with you. So today we're dropping into de-armoring and feeding down versus kissing up. So I was watching, what the hell is it called? The Good Doctor. And one of the doctors on The Good Doctor was saying like that he's, his character, he was like, when I was a cop, this is totally not how he said it, but this is my interpretation for you. I think I just like turned into like Keanu Reeves or something. But he was saying that when he was a cop, that he figured out it was always better to feed down versus kissing up. Now, in the context, he was talking about providing like and taking care of the people who were technically, quote unquote, under you, rather like that made your life a whole lot easier than it would to like spend your time kissing up to the people who were quote unquote above you. And which if you've been with me a while, then like all this stuff like completely random drops me into like, oh yeah, this means this for how we create and how we move and how we message and how we live our lives and how we make love and make an impact and all the things. And so what that really dropped into me was like, oh, feeding down. That's how we actually drop into our body, how we allow ourselves to to show up, to exist in this full on embodied experience when we are tapped in, when we're dropped in, when we're like in the raw primordial muck of everything. That is feeding down. We feed down when we take care of our body, when we drop in and yes, taking care of like how we actually take care of our body, but also when we take care of paying attention, of listening, of allowing our body to be the pretty much like the number one source of our intuition, of the decisions that we make, of our strategy for creativity, for mission, for all of these things. So our body is the portal for God, source, great mystery to drop into us. Our body is the portal for us to connect and land and to earth and to root and to ground into the universe, the planet that we live on. It's like our body gets to be the portal. And so when we feed down, that allows us to not only touch into all of the things that are asking to be birthed through us, but it also allows us to do it in such a way that it's coming from our own truth, that it's coming from the essence, the primordial muck, like all of the things, the medicine that is born inside of us. The alternative, kissing up, right, is living from a headspace. It is trying to teach and lead and message and create and heal and engage in life and make love and have relationships and all these things from a headspace, from this gosh, like when you're only like you're trying to think your way through everything, it disconnects us from our earthiness, from our sensuality, from our pleasure. It disconnects us from our heart, right? Like from our lungs, from our breath, when we are trying to operate just from the head up. And it's not fun, right? It's not fun. It doesn't it might feel like it's getting you where you think you should be, where you think you need to be, where someone else told you needed to be in order to be a success, in order to be whoever it is that you identify as, man, woman, creator, Black, Indigenous, American, Australian, whatever it is, like whatever people group and then sub people group like that you identify with, like whatever it is that you feel like you're here to share with the world, whatever, like when we're in a headspace, we are taking in everyone else's ideas. We're working from a space from our old encoding, our old conditioning, our old belief systems. We're trying to think our way through to something rather than actually experiencing where we are and what it is that our body is offering up to us. And the difference, that kissing up, it brings us into a really external way of creating, an external way of making love, an external way of connecting with God, like where we're like, oh, this is how I have to connect with God, this is what God means, these are the things, and I have to follow these rules in order to have a relationship with the Most High. And then that then serves to disconnect us even more from the truth of who we are, from our essence, from our message, from our mission, from the medicine that is born to our soul and only to our soul, to be shared, to be excavated, to be then like poured out into the world. And what and then when it comes to de-armoring, right, there is, and I'm sorry if anyone is sharing chat messages because I can't freaking see anything. Let's see. I'm gonna just put test because I'm super fucking creative like that. So I'm just testing the chat. Okay, I can see my chat. I don't know if I can see yours. I had no idea. So I apologize. I'll get this whole streaming through Zoom to the tube and all that stuff. I'll get it down at some point. Yeah. So when this comes to de-armoring, like the way that it kind of like lands in my body, like when we're talking about this feeding down and versus kissing up, when it lands, it's like, whoo, that de-armoring, that is one of like the most potent ways in which we can feed down. Because when we are holding on to a lot of old trauma, when we're holding on to a lot of old like residue, like emotional residue and energetic like muck and scar tissue, when we're holding all of this stuff in our body and we haven't actually started to like, ooh, like let's allow in some healing here, let's usher in some pleasure here, let's usher in some integration, let's usher in some integration here. When we haven't allowed that and we haven't really dropped into that, which is what de-armoring allows us to do, like we're laying down our armor, right? Like we're allowing ourselves to soften in, to look at all of the forgotten places, all of the disowned aspects of self, all of the areas within ourselves that we haven't really felt safe enough to look at, to excavate, to lead and create from. And so the de-armoring, whether you are doing like cervical de-armoring, which is one that a lot of women would maybe not if you've done it, right? Like not many, I wouldn't say that everyone's done it, but you might have heard of it. But like we can de-armor our heart, we can de-armor our back body, we can de-armor pussy, we can de-armor cock, we can de-armor we can de-armor our throat. Like we can really drop into a space of de-armoring that allows us to really nourish, right? To really nourish our body, to nourish our essence, to nourish our soul in a way that allows us to go forth and do the work that we're here to do, because we're doing it from a really a clear, cleansed plate, right? Like we've cracked open the window to our own healing. We've let in clean air. Like we're like, oh, holy shit, this is my body, this is my voice, this is my power, this is my message. Like, yes, yes, yes. And then from that space with that clean air, we are able to really hear the wisdom of our body, and we're able to actually feel safe to not only hear it, but to listen to that wisdom, and then to embody that wisdom out into the way that we create, into the way that we are in relationship with ourselves, with others, with the Most High, with our own art, right? With the medicine, the message that is born to our soul. And so when we're in that space where it's still really crunchy, it's still like, oh my god, how do I do this? How do I like create? How do I share from this space? Like, oh, how do I be, right? How do I fucking be when I have all of this muck and all of this stuff that's like made all of these layers between me and my life, right? Because when you want to feel fully alive, when you're like when it's something that you crave and desire more than like almost more than anything, it's really hard to actually drop into that, because you can't, it's almost like you can't touch it, you can't feel it, you can't drop down into it all the way, and then it's hard and becomes harder, and it becomes even harder to move forward and to create the momentum that you desire, and the momentum that you know is going to allow you to really fully create this ecology of thriving within your own body and within your own life. So that is just a little bit on de-armoring and feeding down versus kissing up. So remember that kissing up, it's like, oh, this is it's almost like you go into like an appease, like a threat response, and appease threat response, right? Where you're like, okay, this is where it should work. Great, let's do that. That sounds good. Oh, that looks good on the outside. Great. Okay. Oh, it's the perfect website. Oh, it's the best font ever. Oh, it's like I've got like a professional designer, creating PDFs for me. Oh, I've got all of these things, and like, my marketing materials, and I'm going to all the right events, and I'm doing all of these things. And it's like, yes, yes, yes. And then you're wondering why your soul feels like it's fucking dying inside of your own body, because you're kissing up, right? Like you're doing all of the things from this headspace of how you think you should live, and how you think you should create, and how you think you should be in relationship, and how you think you should make love, and how you think you should share your message. And you only share the parts that are pretty, only share the parts that everyone else would say like, good job, good on you, right? Like instead of that, dropping down, feeding down, getting into your body. And that really does require us to really start to de-armor the aspects of ourselves that we have kept hidden from ourselves, from the world, to feel safe, to cultivate the safety. And if you're like, but how do I create? Like, then you right, like you work with a mentor, work with a teacher, if you already have the teachings, and you've received transmissions around them, then okay, what is it asking your body, like what do we need to actually feel safe to do the practices that we already know? What do we need, like what is really alive for us here that will allow us to not only do the practices, but to be the practice, right? To allow it to become an innate part of who we are as we move through the world. Yeah. I feel like that's it for right now. I'll be back soon, playing with this technology, and I mean, hopefully somebody's getting to see this, because I think maybe you might be. I don't know. It'll be up on repeat. Just put this on repeat. It'll be up on recording, replay, whatever, on YouTube. So yeah, I don't really care. I don't really care on the tech aspect. It will all work out. Like, I trust that. I do care that I want you to actually be able to drop in and engage and receive these the musings, right, and the transmission. So it'll all be good. It'll all work out beautifully, you know, all that good stuff. If you desire, like if you know that you're ready, I've got two super fucking live things right now. Live is in the hotness, and also, yes, like they're they're also live. If you like hanging out with someone who's super dropped in and embodied and corny as shit, then you might want to come and hang out and play and do this really fucking deep work and drop into the wisdom and also have like a really good time, really silly time doing it, but full of like lots of pussy power and pleasure. So number one, this weekend in Body of Work, which is my membership. If you don't know, now you know. Multidimensional messengers and creators and just like, oh, like high powered, high achieving, you know who you are, souls, women only, female identifying only, then I invite you to join us, because we're going deep into de-armoring, and we're de-armoring pussy and womb in a way that really drops you into an expansive way that you can attract, catalyze, and then like fucking like amplify the shit out of your desires. That's happening this Sunday. So depending on when you're watching this, it's happening this Sunday. You have to be a member in February in order to access that intensive. So it's a live teaching intensive, transmission, and full-on wild nectar practice. So if you're like, I don't all the things, I don't know what to do with the things, and I need to do the things, and how the fuck do I do the things, and oh my god, then like, yeah, come come and join us, and you'll actually be it. You'll be in the things and not kissing up into that headspace of trying to figure out how to do the things. You just sign up and then you're in the thing. So yourbodyofwork.com. I'll try to finagle that down into the description somehow. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the easy part out of all this whole live streaming thing. This live streaming back on the live streaming horse. It's so funny. Like, I used to do these things all the fucking time, like Periscope back in the day, even some on Facebook, but Periscope was my fucking jam. I was on there like almost daily for so long. But yeah, YouTube's going to be the new spot. I've been wanting to do this and like knowing this was a thing forever, but I was kissing up. And then this week I was finally like, you know what? Time to fucking feed down and just get back on it. So feeding down. Hey, for you, for me, for all of us. Like, it's just for soul. It's for soul. And then we all benefit from it. And then number two, the other thing that you can join me in, I have a brand new membership for BIWOC, so Black, Indigenous Women of Color. This is creators, this is messengers, this is like, holy shit. Like, if you have thought like you thought that you were like, oh, I've done all the things and I've been to all the teachers and all the things, and I don't know why I'm not going all in on the work of my soul, the medicine, the message that is born to me, and expressing and fully showing up as this sensually alive, turned on, like, fucking woman in all areas of your life, then you might want to jump in on this. Founders membership is open right now. We're going deep on the systemic, racialized, and sexualized trauma in bodies of color, specifically creators of color, and how that impacts you actually being able to feel safe enough to go out and do the damn thing in every way that you're being called to do. And you can check that out at nikacarly.com/skin. Yeah. Let me know on Instagram. You can always DM me. You can comment below if you have any questions, but I'm here. I love you. Fuck, I love you all so much. I love you. Thank you for being with me on this path, on this journeying, on this fucking earth walk. Like, I'm so grateful, and I love you all so much. And yeah. That's it. What? Live stream. He's done, baby. Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, if you want to come and hang with your girl, then let me know, or, you know, just sign up. But if you have any questions, then let me know. I will see you soon. I'm not going to make any promises, but it will be soon, back on this YouTube thing. And make sure you check out, I would do, you know, how, you know, all the cool YouTubers be like, and make sure you check out this one and this one and this and that, except, you know, I haven't actually ever sat down and taught myself how to do that. So I'm not going to be adding in any of those things, but you can check out on my channel. If you go to the playlist Musings from the Wild, you will see all the latest videos, and I highly invite you to do that. And I highly suggest and invite you to drop into all of the feels with those videos that are not located here and here and here. All right. I love you all so much, and I will see you soon. As always, here's to your untaming by wild ones.